Another day, another Elon Musk blunder. He just doesn't seem to learn. The world's richest man and recurring internet meme has landed himself in another questionable situation. This time, it's regarding his private space exploration company, SpaceX. What has he done to enrage people this time? In today's video, we're going to tell you all about it, so stay tuned to find out. First up, say no to Elon. According to sources inside the company, SpaceX has fired at least 5 people for writing an open letter criticizing the CEO, Elon Musk. Earlier this month, news broke that about 250 employees at SpaceX had written an open letter to the top leadership to distance themselves from the billionaire. The letter stated that his behavior online was a frequent source of distraction and embarrassment for the employees at SpaceX. They felt that his personal brand was too damaging for the company, and it was in its best interest to distance the company image from Elon. The letter also called to publicly address and condemn his behavior. "We think he's been humiliated enough on the internet, don't you think?" The employees complained about a lack of proper work culture and boundaries. According to ex-employees, SpaceX lacks the rules that make a workplace safe. They say that a lot of this is due to Elon's behavior. He is mostly absent from the company and doesn't really oversee the work culture. On top of that, his activities and brand online promote a lack of boundaries. His inappropriateness gives confidence to other employees to behave the same way. If swift action is not taken to condemn this behavior, the employees will suffer even more. Honestly speaking though, we wouldn't really mind if our boss was smoking a blunt live on the internet, but it seems like that's the least of their worries right now. The authors also stress that it's important to create a good working environment for future generations. If they are to bring life to Mars, they want to leave this toxic work culture behind. They claim that the company treats employees like consumable resources who are made to work inhumane hours. This is a direct reference to Elon Musk asking that all SpaceX employees must put in at least 40 hours of work each week or face layoffs. According to the employees, this culture isn't sustainable and shouldn't be promoted. It's the top leadership's job to condemn such actions, and the letter was meant to pressure them to do so. But it seems the letter backfired spectacularly, and now they're the ones out of jobs. Next, no activism allowed. The authors asked employees to sign the letter in name or anonymously, and at first, it was only sent via the Teams chats. Later, the letter was leaked to the press. It seems that the leadership hasn't taken the criticism well at all. The company questioned its employees about the letter and later fired at least 5 people for their involvement in writing the open letter. The company's chief operating officer, Gwynne Shotwell, sent a company-wide email addressing the layoffs. She stated that the letter made employees feel bullied and intimidated to agree with statements they didn't want to. The repeated requests sent to their team chat made them uncomfortable and distracted employees during their busy workday. So we guess Shotwell's response to complaints about toxic work culture is to boast about the said work culture? No wonder Elon made her the chief operating officer. Shotwell continued that the company has multiple launches this month and can't afford any overreaching activism right now. SpaceX has 3 launches this month and is helping NASA deliver astronauts to the International Space Station. They're also about to launch their first orbital satellite, Starship. Given the importance of these tasks, any other activities are simply distractions that must be discarded. She also claimed that the current leadership is more dedicated to a safer work environment than it has ever been before. She said that the company has zero tolerance for harassment or bullying, and she personally oversees complaints about the company and encourages employees to use the Dropbox to launch anonymous complaints. According to her, SpaceX is a demanding company to work at and expects the best from its employees. She said that the authors of the letter were fired because they just don't have what it takes to survive in the space transportation industry. Wow, talk about tough love, Gwynne. Shotwell also called into question the loyalty of the employees that wrote the letter. She claimed that there were security concerns that these employees would leak SpaceX's secrets to the press. If they could openly speak against the company and its CEO, they could also sell the company's methods to competitors. Looks like SpaceX has no intention of taking the blame. Okay, but what did Elon do? According to sources, the letter was in response to Mr. Musk's recent online activity and sexual harassment claims. Elon Musk's Twitter is filled with right-wing propaganda and frequently ridicules liberal politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He's also a subject of many memes, with his general image being kind of clownery. The video of him smoking a blunt on Joe Rogan's podcast has a big role to play in all of that. Another problem is the recent lawsuit against Elon, SpaceX, and Tesla because of his tweets. A civilian was motivated to invest in Dogecoin because of Elon's tweets. He had been promoting the cryptocurrency on his Twitter since 2019 and often talked about its potential. The civilian has sued the company for $256 billion. He also wants Elon to openly admit his mistake and stop people from investing in Dogecoin. He says that the billionaire should pay up to people who lost their investment solely because of his word. Well, what else would you expect from a currency named after a meme? And now for the cherry on top. To make matters worse, Elon was accused of sexual harassment by a flight attendant. The woman said that he exposed himself and offered to buy her a horse if she touched him. Elon, who was about to buy Twitter Twitter for $44 billion at that time, called the article a hit piece, aimed to destroy his image and stop his efforts to buy Twitter. Shotwell said she has never experienced such behavior and believes the allegations are false. She was one of the first employees hired back in 2003, and she personally believes that Elon is a good guy, but she shouldn't be going around discrediting other people. Despite the claims, Musk bought Twitter and held his first meeting with employees this month. All the other behavior can be called immaturity and may be dismissed. Sexual harassment is a serious mark on his character, though. We wonder if the employees at SpaceX were onto something all along, though it seems like anybody who comes after Elon Musk suffers in one way or another. Honestly, at this point, even we are afraid to criticize the richest man on Earth. Up next, NASA is worried. NASA, which works with SpaceX often, isn't convinced though. Even though former NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said that Elon wants to only do what is best for America and humanity, according to him, Elon has done more for America's space program than anyone else since Kennedy. The president started the space program and challenged America to go to the moon. Now, the Tesla CEO will take America to Mars. Not everyone shares his positivity though. A former employee at NASA said that they were very worried about SpaceX. The criticism about SpaceX is concerning because NASA relies only on it to deliver its astronauts to the International Space Station. After the Joe Rogan incident, NASA decided to look further into the company. Bridenstine, NASA's administrator at the time, ordered a thorough investigation into the company's culture. They took hundreds of interviews in an attempt to gauge if the company did indeed have a toxic work culture. It was very invasive, according to Shotwell. Bridenstine said that NASA has a responsibility to the employees of all companies it has contracts with and the American public as well to uphold safety. The people must believe that everyone working at and for NASA will be safe. NASA didn't reveal its findings, but Shotwell claims all of them were very positive. However, NASA employees revealed that this was well before they were aware of any sexual harassment allegations. The recent developments seriously changed things, but given NASA's dependency on SpaceX, it's unlikely that it would face any consequences. We guess money really does buy everything. Finally, what's next? The company is unwilling to release any information about the fired employees. We'd like to know how they figured out who was to blame. Given that 250 employees signed the letter, how did they decide who to fire? It's unlikely that the letter would change anything in the company. The layoffs are a big deterrent to stay quiet. Keep your head down and work seems to be the message to all current employees. One former employee said that even though Elon and his attitude is clearly the problem, and no one's willing to speak out anymore, he's a celebrity entrepreneur and SpaceX is linked to his brand. The company will protect the company, he admitted. To make matters worse, Elon's growing fan following online is turning into somewhat of a cult. He said that because of his avid fan base, it's best not to criticize the billionaire, online or otherwise. While netizens are always roasting Elon online, employees don't dare to take that risk. If SpaceX can fire you over raising genuine concerns, we wonder what would happen if an employee posted anything online. That's a wrap for today's video. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.